Hello, family. Let's do it. Let's do it, family. Let's do it. Let's do it. Who in the house? Who in the house? Yes, let's do it. Yeah, I shocked y'all. Y'all didn't know I was coming on, but I'm here to come in. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Sending love to each and every one of y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to give people a little bit more time to get into the knowledge family. Yes, yes, because we got a lot of tea to talk about today, family. Yes, we got a lot of tea, and we're going to break the tea down. Yes, we're going to talk about Shanquilla. I want to touch on something about her case, and then we will talk about the inmate that was captured. Then there is security guard down in Georgia who risked basically everything for an inmate. Then Alabama had ICE bust in the joint. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about, and also the closing arguments of Diddy's trial. We will talk about that as well. So we're going to give people a couple of more minutes to get in here, family. Yes. Hold on. Darlene Chestnut in the house. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, sister. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm coming right in. Yolanda Mills, shout out. Shout out. How y'all doing today? How are y'all doing today? Shocked everybody today. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Thank you so much to the beautiful sisters in the house. And thank you to the ones that's viewing as well, who's up in the bushes. Yes, thank y'all. Just hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're not a subscriber already. Shout out Spicy. Shout out, shout out. Yes, Spicy in the house. Yes. Thank you all once again. Thank you all once again. Um, I know a lot of people got a lot to do. I didn't say I was coming on today. So we are doing this kind of little test run here with that internet thing. Y'all know I was having a lot of problems and things like that. And it took us a minute to where we had to put our foot down. Yeah, we had to put our foot down. So we're going to see what it do, what it do, what it do. I'm going to go right on ahead. Thank you so much, Spicy. Thank you to the people who are coming in. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Sending love to you all. Sending love to you all. So we're going to get right on down to it. And, you know, people come in as they come in, or the replay gang will come in the house and catch the replay. Yes. And we want to give a shout out to our moderators as well. We want to give a shout out to the chat. We want to give a shout out to our subscribers overseas and everywhere. Just thank y'all so much for all of y'all support. It's so greatly, greatly appreciated. Just thank you so much. I can't say it enough. Thank you to the ones who be in the comment section. Y'all leave awesome comments, and I can kind of, you know, interact with y'all through the comments as well. So just thank you. Just thank you so much. Now, let's get right on down to it. Spicy. Thank you, Spicy. Tell them to hit that like button. Thank you. Thank you. So let's get on right down to it, family. Y'all know that they just captured that ninth inmate that escaped, Antoine Massey. They captured him yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Okay. So I wanna talk about that, but you still have one still out there. Bass Solo in the house, moderator in the house. Thank you so much for joining in, moderator. Thank y'all. Y'all are so sweet. Have great hospitality in the chat. I appreciate that. But family, let me tell y'all. Yes, they got the Massey, right? Now, it was something I just wanted to touch on that little subject right there. Is this one right here. Yeah. So they got him yesterday, but check this out, family, what they said. And they said they caught him in the 7th ward, okay, down there in New Orleans. I'm trying to figure out, how do you escape and you still stay in that same city or that same state? That ain't how it's supposed to go. See, that shows a lot of them didn't have no plans. They just seen the door open and said, let's just run for the hills. And they didn't have nowhere to go. And they staying in that city. Family, if I had to walk, I would have, I would have put on some type of disguise. I would have had to walk at least out of that state. When you escape, you don't still be chilling there. What? Anyway, family, he was caught down there in the 7th ward, just chilling and carrying on. But I want to tell y'all this right here, family, is that they say he got caught Friday afternoon, so it was yesterday, family. But check this out. They said, according to the police, an anonymous tip came out, and the tip came in around 11 a.m. yesterday, and about 3:30 p.m. they had the spot surrounded, okay? And he was in a house. Now, that last one, so, they say it's a $50,000 award for the ones who give a tip out. So the person who gave that tip gonna get that $50,000? I don't know. But anyway, we'll see, because they'll start complaining about they didn't get it probably. But this is what they said he did. This ain't his first time escaping. He has a criminal background and escape history. Go all the way back to 2007. And they said he escaped juvenile detention center that is known as a juvenile justice intervention center. And they said in 2019, he escaped the Morehouse Parish Detention Center and was found the same day in Texas. Well, at least he had since then to go to Texas. But anyway, then in 2003, he took off his ankle monitor in Walmart, okay? And so that they couldn't find him, but they did get him. But anyway, he have a long history of escaping, okay? Now, he was found in this house, family, and the person who owns the house said it's a chick, but they wouldn't show her face. And she said, well, I didn't know he was in my house. So she must rent out her house, right, family? So she said, I didn't even know that he was in my house. I mean, it's just, wow, that's something else. Well, the police said that for him to be in that house, it had to have been a joint effort, okay? So did she know or did she not know? We don't know, okay? But I find it quite strange that when she was on the news, I just wouldn't have came on the news, period, family, okay? Because to me, she kind of gave herself suspectees, okay? Because when the news media came to her and said, hey, he was found in your house, she owns that house, but she don't live in it. She just own it and rent it out. So when the news media came to her and said, hey, he was in your house, what do you think about that? She said, oh, wow. You just never know these days. What? That's all you got to say? This man is inside your house, girl. And that's all you have to say is, well, you just don't know what's going on these days. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I was just as shocked as y'all when they said he was inside my house. And that's it, family. She didn't, you know how a person, if you are renting out a house and a person is inside of your house like that, an escaped inmate, and it finds, you find out that this person has been housing themselves inside your property. First thing you gonna say when the news or somebody come up to you, be like, I'm trying to figure out how he get in there. Did he break my door down? Because see, the police has had that blocked. They wouldn't even let her near her own home. So the first thing you would say is, did he bust out my windows? Hey, did he kick down my doors? Because this is something that I got to replace and repair and pay for. Okay, so how in the hell did he get in my damn house, first of all? And I want to press charges on his ass too, because I didn't know that he was inside my house. Is my house tore up, first of all? That's what I want to know, because he ain't paid damn rent in this joint about being up in my house. No, he didn't approve. I didn't approve that. No, what my house looking like on the inside? Somebody finna let me up in here. See, that's how you act when somebody has been in your house like that, and you say you just heard it when the news told you. That's the normal reaction. Hers wasn't like that. So see, that's why I say you shouldn't even came on the news, lady, because all that was suspect. Yes, you know what those police did as soon as they took him back into custody? I think we might need to look at her. That answer was pretty suspect. Yeah. So I advise you to go hide. Just like this. Yes, because that interaction that you gave out was straight suspect. Yes, it was. Yes, it was, lady. You shouldn't even came on there. No, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have came. Everybody want to be on the news, and then they mess around and become suspect. Y'all better keep y'all damn mouth closed. Let me see who all up in the chat. Yeah. Let me see who all up in the chat. My Spicy, my Darlene, Yolanda, Bay Solo, moderator in the house. Let me say, Darlene Chestnut said she going to jail. Yeah. Yeah, Spicy said yellow boots on the ground. Bay Solo said that fool in the house. Yes, he was in the house. Yes, he was in the house. Yeah. That's what I'm saying about Bay Solo. I would have said, get out my house. You know what I'm saying? And it's been over 6 weeks now, so you haven't been to check on your house. I know you got tenants and stuff like that in there, but you haven't been to your tenant's house. See, when you renting a house like that, at least you would inform your tenants. Now, y'all know it's some inmates on the loose. Y'all take care of yourself. You watch yourself. Just make sure. Let me see if the house is secured for y'all. But, y'all just be careful, because a lot of them haven't been caught yet. All that stuff like that. She ain't said nothing like that. I don't like her reply. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Yes. William Zander, salute. Beth from Dalton. Hello, Beth. How you doing? It was somebody else I seen. And I don't want to leave them out right quick. Oh, Ramona Chapman. Hello, babe. Hello. Okay, so yeah, so that was it. That was it on him, family. Yes. I just wasn't feeling that one right there. Nah, I really wasn't. But hey, family, check this out. Y'all remember in the last video we talked about old Tez. Yeah, Tez, who came down here on the Gulf Coast in Alabama and tried to snatch up a woman and take her all the way back to New York for FOs. Yes, y'all remember I told y'all about that? And I told y'all, what I tell y'all, family? I said, I don't know why it came down here. Because it ain't no joke down on this camp here. Why you come down here on the South anyway? Well, anyway, Tez done stunk up the joint for everybody, family. Yes, Tez done stunk up the joint, because when he did that, it didn't do nothing but raise alarm to the residents, to the police department, to the FBI, to the Homeland Security. to ICE, to everybody in Alabama when Tez bought his stinking rump down here and tried to snatch up a woman for a FO. Okay? So he done caused the heat on everybody. Yes, and they had concerned residents. Family, I can't even tell y'all enough how many residents in the Gulf Coast was complaining about that very incident that I was telling y'all about in the last video about Tez coming down here trying to snatch up a woman on our Gulf Coast beach here in Alabama and tried to take her back to working some FOs in Brooklyn, New York. Okay? Now, family, everybody was on the horn. See, everybody was on the same page down here. Okay? And who else was on the horn? Yes. Because what you ain't going to do is come down here while we are chilling, relaxing on our beach down here on the Gulf Coast, and we got our feet kicked up, and you come tapping us on our shoulder, talking about, hey, give me your poo nanny. What? Give you my what? What you say? You ain't, give you what? You is not finna come down here snatching poo nannies and taking them back up there to Brooklyn, New York for FOs. That wasn't gonna work. So anyway, family, everybody got on the horn down here on the Gulf Coast, and it wasn't looking so good. So when everybody got on the horn, all the concerned residents, because you know old Tez was from Ukraine. He's a Ukrainian, okay? Now, he done brought the heat down on everybody. Y'all remember Tez, this Tez. This Tez, the Ukrainian that came to Alabama to try to pick up a woman and take her to Brooklyn brothel. That's a FO. I'm so tired of them making these words so cute. It ain't cute at all. But anyway, family, what'd I tell them? I said, stop playing with this lady in this two-piece suit, the governor of Alabama, because she do not play. I told them this lady here sleep with a pen, and then she put you in that damn pen real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now, they didn't want to listen to me, family. So, check this out. Look what she put on her Facebook page. Y'all will see Governor Ivory. She said, 429 arrests made in Alabama. We enforce our laws. I'm telling you, family, this lady here. Well, what do you know? Just a couple of days ago, ICE came in the joint. ICE raided Gulf Shores construction site. Yes, arrest 37 of them. Yep. Yep. 37 of them. Yeah, arrest 37 of them. It was Tez who brought the heat down on everybody. He brought the heat down on everybody trying to come down here in the bottom part of Alabama, which is called the Gulf. Okay? He came down here on our beaches and stuff, trying to snatch up women, and it didn't do nothing but raise alarm and concern. And then ICE started bum rushing the joint, family. When I said ICE was bum rushing the joint, yeah. So anyway, ICE bum rushed them, okay? And they arrested 37 illegal aliens. They call them aliens. I'm not gonna call them no aliens. They arrested 37 immigrants, illegal immigrants, okay? That was undocumented. Put it that way, okay? Now, the tip came out from concerned residents, okay? Yes. Now check this out, family. The agents arrested 36 of them, illegal immigrants, and 7 of them have a criminal history: DUI, property damage, domestic violence, as well as outstanding warrants. The FBI, doing their investigation, that one of the immigrants assaulted one of the ICE enforcers. Okay? Now, this was January 24th, okay, that they got him. They was up on the roof hiding, family. Family, when ICE came, they working on a school in Gulf Shores, and I have went past that school a lot that they are building, okay? It's a beautiful school. The school costs $137 million to build. okay? And it's going to be gorgeous. But the thing is, all of these undocumented was over there working with this undercut with this construction company, okay? I'll tell y'all the name of that construction company in a minute. But they was working for this construction company. So all of them was over there working, ICE busting the joint, and you should have seen them running. What did I tell y'all last time? That Alabama law enforcement will run you and hunt you down like deer meat. And that's exactly what they did. You should have seen them running, family. They was running all across the fields, the highways and byways. Shoes was coming off, everything. They was trying to book it too. But it wasn't working because I done told y'all that they hunt you down like deer meat. Don't play with... I'm telling y'all, I don't know why they came to the South with that anyway, okay? I don't know why. Pick another part. Alabama is not it. I'm trying to tell y'all. And I told Tez that too before he brought his stinking ass out from down in New York. Come all the way down here to try to take Punani. Now he done got the heat on everybody. And I'm telling you, ICE is sitting back with McDonald's, ice slushes, all that in their car, and they got binoculars and they just looking. They are heavy around that camp. I'm talking about they heavy. You can't escape them. But anyway, family, they done ran all off in the woods, the highways, the byways, all up in our ponds. They was hiding in the ponds. Hey, but they got them anyway. They got them in. They was all over the place, family. Yeah, they had the nerve to do this right here, family. I don't know if y'all can see this part right here, but I'm finna show y'all. But they was running in the woods, family. You see it. They was running in the woods and you see ICE. Hey, our law enforcement was raised in the woods. You ain't hiding nowhere, G. They know the woods better than y'all do. I told y'all they hunt you like deer meat. Keep thinking we playing around here. See, we can show you better than we can tell you around here in the South. Don't come down here with that. But anyway, family, they was all working and didn't turn out too good. Didn't turn out too good at all. So as they was working, they was throwing ropes all down the high school roof trying to get away. They locked themselves inside of the roof, right? So when they locked themselves inside the roof, family, ICE got a crane. You know the fire trucks with the ladders that go all the way up and get to your 30-story floors and all that stuff like that. ICE wasn't playing with them. When they thought they locked themselves in that roof and they locked where they thought ICE couldn't get them. Next thing you know, they were coming down the streets with cranes. Yes, them big trucks that got them big ladders on them. ICE parked it right there. ICE was coming up. Now I'm going to tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like Pedro and Julio had some walkie-talkies on them. Because what happened was the ones who was getting captured and couldn't run too much and they was getting tired, they were saying, hey, the ICE coming on ladder. You might want to come out of there. Yes, you might want to come out of there. And they was coming up on the cranes like this. And the cranes were lifting them higher and higher. Oh, yeah, you can lock yourself in that roof all you want to. We finna bust that roof clean open and get you up out of there. So you got a choice to try to come up out of there before we get up here to the top. Family, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I'm telling you, Alabama law enforcement down there on the Gulf wasn't playing. And guess who was in charge of the whole thing, too? Mobile Police Department. Shout out to the Mobile Police Department. Those boys and girls, they worked real hard down through there and throughout the Gulf Coast area of the state of Alabama. All them law enforcement, they don't be playing. I tried to tell everybody when I did that last video, I said they are not playing with you. They not gonna play with you. I'm sorry. But they came up there on cranes, family. And then that's when SA and Julio and all them just said, all right, go ahead. And see, they must have told them, they must have had some walkie-talkies, and they were saying, man, come up out that roof, because they coming up on cranes and ladders and all that, and those little machine weapons we looking at ain't looking like they friendly and too kosher, okay? And don't look like they kind of mad already that they got to get up on this crane and come get you. So go ahead on and give yourself up, Pedro and Julio, okay? And that's exactly what they did, family. Yes, that's exactly what they did. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Yeah, Darlene Chestnut. That's exactly how they was. That's exactly how. Sandra, salute, salute. Thank you for joining us today. Yes. Watch out, people. They everywhere. Yes, I remember hearing about the creepy guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was. Um, Shanita Lander. Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in today. Yes, but honey, I see y'all all in the chat laughing. I see y'all, Darlene Chestnut, Bay Solo, all of y'all. Yes, Spicy, all of y'all. Yes, I'm telling you, they weren't playing with them, family. They weren't playing with them. But let me tell y'all this right here. That first of all, that school that was being built is paid by tax dollars. Okay. Yes, it was paid for by tax dollars. Now, this school is expected to cost $137 million. Okay. And so you got taxpayers' dollars that was going to undocumented immigrants. And the people who lives in the state of Alabama wasn't given a chance to get those 37 jobs that undocumented people was working at. And I just think that it well, the FBI said Wednesday that this operation took place because of concerned members of the community. Okay? And he says it also, this is what the detectives, the FBI, the special agents, all of them, they said that this sends a strong message to those who exploit illegal labor for profit, displacing American workers. Okay? And what he mean by displacing American workers, meaning that surely it was some citizens in the state of Alabama who are here and supposed to be here who probably been looking for a job for a long time. And a lot of them would have came from the top of Alabama to the bottom of Alabama. Because the top of Alabama, that's your northern part of Alabama. But the bottom part of Alabama is the Gulf. Okay? It's the Gulf Shores. It's part of the Gulf Shore. It's part of the Gulf. And so it's so many people that they said would have traveled from there all the way to the Gulf just to have those jobs, just to work for 6-7 weeks or probably 4 months on the job just to have a job. So that was the only thing that, I didn't like about that. But I'm going to tell you now, y'all might as well blame Tez, okay? The one who came from Brooklyn all the way down here to snatch a woman and take her back to New York for FOs. But he got caught. It was 3 Ukrainians that came down here and tried to snatch up a woman. And after that came on the news, the concerned citizens went haywire all over the Gulf. All over the Gulf. And then there you go, this week here, ICE started bum rushing the joint. So, hey, don't get mad at us. Get mad at Tez. He the one that came down here and thought that he could snatch up women. No. And see, this is a right to carry state. Alabama is, Texas is, Florida is, all these places in the South are right to carry states. You go tapping some of these women and snatching on these women's shirts and stuff, talking about you finna take them back up north, or you gonna take them anywhere. You talking about taking them around the corner for a FO. You in some trouble. Because the women carry around the Gulf worse than the men do. Yay. So, hey, keep that stuff up there, up north with that. Don't come down here. Yeah, don't come down here with it. Now you're going to get your feelings hurt. You're going to get your feelings hurt coming down here. Now, my thing is, when they contacted the school said they had no idea that the contractor hired these undocumented people. So the school is trying to bag out of it. But to my opinion, it's the school responsibility to know all about this contractor that they hired to build this new school. And it's their duty to know that, to go down rules of the do's and don'ts of, hey, if we hire you as a contractor, you can't have undocumented people working on the team, because that's not going to do nothing but cause a big stink in this state if people find out. And everybody found out that this contractor named, let me give y'all the name of this contractor, because they made a statement. It's Baron General Contractors, and they say that they are aware of the raid and that they are cooperating with the investigators concerning the raid. And I told y'all what the school said. The school made the city of Gulf Shores city schools are aware of the federal immigration inspection raid conducted. And they said that they had no idea of knowing that that contractor had undocumented people working. Okay. And I just feel like they need to have some type of responsibility for that, because if you hire a contractor, you need to, especially if it's being paid for by tax dollars, $137 million of taxpayers' money going to undocumented people. So I don't think that construction company will be operating too much longer. I'm telling you how Alabama is. Alabama is a very strict state, because they'll snatch license and stuff like that quick, fast, and in a hurry. If they consider a restaurant or a bar or something like that being a nuisance, like if the police have to come to that club or to that bar or something, a lot of times they're going to shut it down. They're going to shut it down. So in this contractor's case, it ain't looking too good. It's really not. Now, family, let me see what y'all saying. Darlene Chestnut said, right after your last video, my friend's daughter was using his car when an 18-wheeler banged up her. Oh, man, no. Yeah, because we was talking about they didn't have the license either, that they was running that license ring in Florida. Yes. But, okay, family. So that was it on the test. Now, check this out. In Florida, they also made a 64-pound, it's a lot of tea up in here, family, but in Florida, they made a 64-pound fin bus, okay? Now, this is the word down here on the Gulf Coast, is that this bus, the amount of fin that these people bought from across the border was enough to delete about 14 million people. Okay? Now, I'm going to let y'all hear. What's going on down here on the Gulf is what they saying is it was a plan to delete 14 million something people with this fin, but it wasn't going to be their people. It was going to be the other people, like your Caucasians, your blacks, things like that. And that will boost their population. You see what I'm saying? If ours kind of fall off from that fent candy. Okay? So I'm going to let y'all hear. That was alarming within itself, but that's the word that's going around here on the Gulf Coast, is that's what that was supposed to have been for. So let's check it out. I'm going to let y'all listen to what he said. Somebody, Kevin Clausen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your generosity. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you for your donation. Thank you. Let me let y'all hear what this is went on in Florida, okay? I just explained to y'all what it was. Check out what he said, okay? Um, Hold on, family. Okay.
I want to highlight before I start giving you the details, and I'm going to give you a 30,000-foot deep view of this, because obviously there will be other investigations into these cartels. But I want to give you an example. Between 2018 and 2023, 340,000 people died of fentanyl overdose deaths
This is who
in the
talking.
United States. Did you hear what I said? I didn't stutter. You can't count that high on your fingers and toes.
Those are the ones who's bringing it in that they just busted. Now listen to what he said that they did.
A fentanyl overdose between 2018 and 2023. Who's telling you that you should start with a quarter pill, because if you're not an experienced doper, it'll kill you. Then move up to a half pill, and then a full pill. These pills are pressed in Mexico. There's no quality control over this. So you don't know how powerful this pill is. But 160,000 pills. Now this Jalisco operation,
160,000 pills is what they got.
It was not pills. This Jalisco operation was all powder, all bricked up. And it also came from traffickers out of Mexico, not related to the pill side. And the investigations started and proceeded when let me get to past my notes here, because we took the started operation and we worked from a Alberto Diaz. He flew from California to Tampa to Bartow, and he brought drugs. He was a transport guy. Oh, by the way,
let me just say this, family. As you heard him say, how many thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pills it was. And if you break them up, it would have been double that amount. And you heard him say that they were flying from, they was going to Los Angeles, Chicago, New York. They was going all over the place. And the plan was to give it to or sell it to, and you don't know how strong those doses is, but the way that the agency talked, the law enforcement, it was enough to delete 14 million people. Okay? I'm going to let you here finish, but I just want y'all to just think about that. Okay? And they said that this was really a mission for them to push this out to the American people. Okay? So check this out.
He brought his daughter with him. The two of them were involved in transport. We learned that they transported for the Jalisco operation and also picked up money. We found out that Gloria Trujillo Duque, who's 44, from Atlanta, she brought 5 kilos that originated in Mexico. She came from Atlanta, and she was the money person for the cartel. Her job was to do the finance. Keep in mind that in addition to that, we had a cousin to Miguel who brought 5 kilos in. She's the only one that's on an immigration hold for violating her permit to come 25 miles inside the U.S. border. Somehow, when she ended up here, we calculated calculated she was just a little past her 25-mile limit. On April 28th, we got 5 kilos from Mexico. And how are they delivering it to us? In batteries. You see the pictures, and it's in the battery. That's right. So when you see someone on the side of the road, maybe putting a new battery in their car, you think to yourself, they've got a bad battery. They had to get another one. Well, what we know is 5 kilos of fentanyl will go in this battery. Now, let me tell you this.
In a battery,
the battery still works.
Car battery.
Okay? So they rig the battery so that it cranks the car. It actually
and the
works.
car still cranks.
And then they just take the battery out, deliver the battery to you. You think it's a bad battery. They're going to take it into exchange it. They put another battery in the car. Well, in fact, they delivered 5 kilos.
Okay, so now, he gonna say the 14 mil.
Delivery in Auburndale. The Auburndale police were vital in this operation, and we seized another 29 pounds of pure fentanyl. Let me say that again. 29 pounds of pure fentanyl. So between the two operations and the different deliveries of the drugs, we loop all of these folks in as either couriers of the drugs or financiers to pick up the money or transport people. And we seized a total of 64 pounds.
Listen.
64 pounds of fentanyl in these two operations. That's enough to overdose and kill 14.5 million people.
14.5 million.
Let me say that again. Our detectives and our agents from the federal, the state, and the local level potentially saved the lives of up to 14.5 million people.
You heard him say save the lives.
Think of it this way.
Of 14 mil.
We seized enough drugs to overdose and kill everyone in the state of Ohio, or everyone in the state of Pennsylvania, or everyone in the state of Illinois, and have drugs to kill people left over.
Y'all heard that? That was just this week too. He said they potentially saved 14.5 million people's lives. And the mission was to take them lives for real. Wow. And you heard them say they put them in car batteries, family. They put them in car batteries, and that's how they keep distributing it throughout the U.S. They, put them in car batteries. The car batteries still crank, but then you'll see somebody on the side of the road think that they got battery trouble, but it's actually them, switching batteries because the stuff is in it. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So be careful out here, family. I know a lot of y'all ain't doing that type of stuff, but what I am saying is it's a mission to kind of get rid of some of the American people who are here, who are supposed to be here. It's a mission coming from over that border to kind of get rid of the American citizens, and that will grow their population. Because if you knock off a whole lot of them, 14.5 million with the bag they traveling with, oh yeah, and you keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. Come on now. Wow. Let me see what y'all saying. Paul Cousins, salute. Thank you for joining us from London overseas, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. It was somebody else. It was somebody else. But thank you, Paul Cousins. Thank you so much. Yes, Cafe is both smart and beautiful. She don't play. Thank you so much, Paul Cousin. Thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. Now, family, let's talk about this guard down here in Georgia. Okay, she in Georgia, family. She done risked everything for an inmate. See, that's what I'm talking about. You know, you get these good jobs and you go to risking your jobs for a dusty inmate who couldn't do nothing for her if she lose that job. And that's exactly what happened. Now, look here, family, check this out. A security guard named LaPorsha Williams, okay? Her name should have been LaPorsha next, okay? I'll tell y'all what I'm talking about that. But anyway, she gonna talk about, she is a security guard now in the jail. She's a high-ranked one, too. And she done messed around there and let this inmate throw sweet nothings in her ear. And he convinced her to bring a phone charger into the jail for him. And she did it. She risked her whole career for a phone charger for a dusty inmate. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Now, LaPorsha is sitting around now with no job. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about, family. Now, this is what happened, family. You know, in the jail, they have the big dog who will come down and call roll, right? He'll be like, Cafe, you say here. Bay Solo, here. Spicy, here. Darlene Chestnut, here. Paul Cousins, here. Shanita Landridge, here. Everybody, okay? Yolanda Mills, here. Everybody, okay? Then he'll get to one, and that one say here. Then he said, we gonna need Miss LaPorsha to come up front, okay? Now, when she came up front from the roll call, usually when they call people up front in the morning times when they call and roll, they giving them a compliment, you know, like, hey, you did a great shift yesterday. You ran a good shift yesterday. Good job, whatever. So when they call LaPorsha up there, LaPorsha sashayed up there like she was finna get an award. But when she got up there, her boss said, you are now under arrest. You got a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you. Got the mighty nose. What? Now, all her class people, all of her, you know, her co-workers, they standing in line up front and they looking at each other like, what he just say? He finna arrest her. Why he finna arrest her? Girl, he just called roll. I thought he was calling her up there because she did something good. They done slapped the handcuffs on her. Oh Lord, they taking, here come the warden. Oh Lord, here come the, oh Lord, she done. She done, family. Yes, she thought she was finna get an award. She sashayed up there, damn near had her hands out thinking that she was finna get a chip or a reward or a little pen or something saying that she did a good job. Instead, they start hitting them cuffs on her. Clack, 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 clack. You under arrest for contraband. What? Now, family, check out LaPorsha. LaPorsha done sat up there and got duped. She done got duped by an inmate. Y'all better stop letting these inmates dupe y'all. But anyway, that's her right there, right? And so this is her in front of the class, family, when she was getting arrested. That's her boss in the white. She came up there, thought she was finna get an award for doing a good job on something. But I'm going to tell you right now, that bow on top of her head told me right then that something wasn't right. Why is you coming to work with that big old black bow on top of your head? See, that told me right there that she was looking for a sweetie pie up in that jail cell. Okay? Why is you coming to work looking all cute with a big old black bow? Girl, you should have left that bow at home for your kids. Ladies, we got to do better. Stop going to a jail cell if you work there at a jail wearing bows and stuff like you trying to get sweet on some of those inmates. That's all this was given. Okay? Now, family, yeah. Now, what she did, family, was she snuck him the phone charger in the Reese's Puff box. So she done got her kids' Reese's Puff box and bought it in there and put the charger in there and threw the whole box in the trash can as if she ate the Reese's Pieces. She dumped it in the trash can and he was supposed to go get it. But little did she know they was already on top of her game because her and that trifling inmate was talking on the jail phone. They was talking on the jail phone and got caught. And he was telling her, she talking to him on his jail phone and saying, hey, look here, I want you to bring me a charger and I'm going to have somebody come get it. And she like, okay. Now, family. This is LaPorsha. Okay. She done throw. This her throwing. Y'all see on the bottom right there that she was throwing the Reese's Pieces box up in the trash can for him to come get it. But the people who really came and got it was her boss. Okay. Her boss came and got it. And he also played the recording of her and this here inmate talking and that she helped him out and was sending him a phone charger. Now, I don't know why I didn't show y'all, but I forgot to show y'all this while it's already up. This is him. Okay? This is him. That's who she risked everything for. Now, her boss came to him and told him, hey, want you to know that your girl, LaPorsha, is now an inmate with you. And it's because of you she in here. No. It's because of her dumbness she in there. Okay? I'm sorry. Had to say it like it is. This is her boss telling him, okay? Look how he looking up at that man. He looking like, damn. Well, you know, she did that on her own. I ain't forced her. I just told her to do it and she did it. She dumb enough to do it and she did it. But hey, man, that ain't my fault. Yeah. So now, LaPorsha has risked her whole career over a dusty inmate and an empty box of Reese's Puffs snacks, which now her kids, Reese's Pieces snacks, gonna be on slow mode because mama no longer has a job. See, it shows, that Reese's Pieces Puff box shows me that her kids was having snacks at least at the house. But now that she done got busted, the kids most likely gonna go from Reese's Puff snacks to serve sandwiches because she decided to pick an inmate over her own family. Make it make sense. We got to do better. You really thought that inmate was into you, girl? You really thought he was into you? And then guess what excuse she used, family? First of all, ain't no inmate gonna make me go to no Reese's Pieces snacks, me and my kids, all the way down to sardine sandwiches. No, we're not gonna be able to do it. No. You could go somewhere. I don't need no inmate playmate, okay? No. And first of all, before I take a risk like that, you're going to have to drop about 2.8 mil in my bank account. See, that's what she should have told this boy. Hey, look here, man, you want to flirt and do all that? I already know you're trying to get something from me and out of me and all that. You ain't worth losing my job. But if you want me to send you a charger, I want you to get on. You can get phone calls, right? Yeah. You can use the inmate phone calls, right? Yeah, you can do that. Hey, go call some of your folks. And I want you to put 2.8 mil in my bank account. Now, once I see the 2.8 mil in my bank account, then I bring you a charger. Because I already know I'm going to most likely get caught and get fired. So if I get fired, I got $2.8 million to take care of me and my kids for the rest of our life, okay? Because I know it's going to be hard for me to find another job because of the record it's going to put on me. And I'm going to have to go to jail, and I'm going to have to do all that, and I got to bond out of jail, and I got to do all that for this old stinking charger. So before I do that, drop 2.8 mil in my account, and then once you got that in my account, I think about getting you that charge. Other than that, you can get on back in there and sit down in that bunk and shut the hell up talking, okay? We got to do better. She done risked her whole career. Now them kids was eating good. Now they're going to have to eat syrup sandwiches and sardine sandwiches. Oh, no. You're not supposed to risk everything for an inmate. Unbelievable. She must be real simple-minded. I'm sorry. I just don't see why these lady guards, men guards, or whatever risk their life for something that can't do nothing for them. Not behind bars anyway. Just dumpster trash. And then they had the nerve to say, family, this is the excuse that she and he gave to the boss and everybody else. She said they was high school sweethearts. She said him and that inmate, they used to be high school sweethearts. What? Y'all used to be high school sweethearts. Says who? Says who? It sounds like it was a high school crush. That's what it sounds like to me. Y'all know how you have a high school crush on somebody. It's given that inmate wasn't stunting you, girl, when you was in high school. That's what it's given. It's given that you was buying him snacks, cookies, and juices, and all that stuff to high school. That's what it's given. It's given he didn't want you then either. It is. It's getting talking about y'all were high school sweethearts. Well, if y'all was high school sweethearts, and you live in Atlanta, and he live in Atlanta, but he never got with you. He never got with you until he got locked up. Then when he got locked up, most likely he said, damn, I used to go to school with old girl. Yeah, she had a crush on me. She used to have some thick-ass glasses, didn't dress right, her clothes was raggedy, shoes was running over to the side. She used to always run, try to talk to me, but I ain't want her then. Nah, but shoot, she looked like she a correction officer. I probably could use her now. That's exactly what he did, oh crazy girl. He wasn't studying you. You done been running around that Clayton County in Georgia all this time, and before he got locked up, he ain't buy you no Reese's Pieces snacks. Then when he get locked up and you work there, you run into him. Now you probably did say, "Oh, girl, I remember back in high school, I had a crush on him." And he telling the fellas, man, she wasn't my cup of tea, but I could show use her while she in here. Most likely she still digging me. And she was. Y'all wasn't no high school sweethearts, girl. You had a crush on that dude. And when he got up in there, that was your way to try to ease in there and be his home girl or his girl. And you messed around and lost everything. Boy, we got to do better. Y'all wasn't no high school sweetheart. You can't fool Cafe. Mm-mm. That wasn't no high school sweethearts, honey. You done lost everything. And if I was them kids, I'd go to DHR myself and say, hey, look here, y'all let me go to my grandmama's house. Y'all let me go to my auntie house, because it's obvious that she don't know how to make good decisions, because I be damned if I'm finna look up on that refrigerator and go from Fruit Loops to sardine sandwiches. No, with milk. Nah, she got us messed up. We going over grandmama's house. Yeah, we going over grandma's house. We going over auntie house. We going over cousin house. We going over somebody's house, but damn sure ain't gonna be your house, because you don't know how to make good decisions. You sitting up here letting this inmate done bum rushed you, con you, gorilla pimped you, and all that. Now we done went from pizza to Franks and beans with a little sugar on top. No, dog, we finna leave this house. Mm-mm. No, you stay here by yourself. When you get out of jail, you'll come home with no kids, because we over grandmama's house, or we over granddaddy's house, or we over grandmama and granddaddy's house, or we over auntie house. We done with you. We done with you. Yay. Let me see what y'all saying. Who said y'all was high school sweetheart? High school flunky? That's what you was. It's given because you was giving that man snacks now. You done gave that man snacks now in 2025. When was y'all high school sweethearts? Because according to that picture that you just took with that big old black bow on top of your head, you every well good of 40, okay? So, when was y'all high school sweethearts? You was a high school flunky. You were taking that man all type of snacks and cookies and juices in high school, and he wasn't studying you. That's what it's giving. I'm sorry. LCL, other moderator in the house. Salute, salute, salute. Yeah, Spicy. He gorilla pimped her. Yeah, she done messed around there with a good job and got pimped out by the inmate. Come on, we got to do better. We got to do better. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to our other moderator in our house, LCL, Base So Low, holding it down. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Putting the kids at risk, Darlene Chestnut said. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, she know good and well that man talking about some high school sweethearts. Girl, you tell that to somebody else. That man wasn't your high school sweetheart. We could tell by he didn't give two hoops about getting you in trouble. If you got a high school sweetheart or something like that, high school sweetheart mean that y'all was dating in high school. And that if y'all was sweethearts, see, a sweetheart supposed to take care of his sweetheart, okay? Even when that sweetheart get by in the 40s and grown and got a good job, he was not supposed to pick you to bring a charger in there. He was supposed to pick somebody else because you are his sweetheart. So don't come telling me that was your high school sweetheart. He didn't give a damn about you in high school, and damn sure don't give a damn about you now. You see how he was looking up at your boss like, I don't know why she did that. I don't know. Hey, yeah, I did talk to you. I got the recording of me talking to her on the phone. I just wanted to see was she dumb enough to do it, and she was. Move on. And family, don't let her have a man at the house. Family, don't let her have a man at the crib. He done dumped her too. If so, can you imagine her having a man at the crib and he's somewhere working and carrying on and talking and helping her and her kids and all that, and he see her on the news smuggling contraband to an inmate she say is her high school sweetheart. Yeah, she dumped then again. She was dumped by the inmate sweetheart, and she gonna be dumped by her old man if she got one. Yes. If she got one out there in the streets, baby, that Sasha's gone. He gone. I can guarantee you that. He gone. Yeah. 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 You done with. Anyway, family, let me see y'all What y'all saying? Talking about some high school sweetheart. No, he ain't. No, he ain't. Bay Solo said, Cafe killing it. Thank you so much for the kind word. Spicy laughing. LCL moderator laughing. Everybody laughing. Bay Solo. Yes. But anyway, family. So, like I said, she messed around, tried to have an inmate as a playmate. You got to stay on code. You can't do that. But we got to do better. We have these good jobs, letting these inmates pimp us out like that. She done lost her whole career. Then they charge her with a felony and all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be stuck on her record. So she most likely won't be able to get a state or government job anymore. And then most places are going to look at that background. It's going to be hard for her to get a job. That type of job anyway. Because they said she was being paid very well. We got to do better. You couldn't go to no club, girl. You couldn't go to no club and find a man. I mean, just you couldn't go to a club and find one. You could have went down there because Atlanta, over there, Clay County that they talking about, Clayton County, it's a whole bunch of homeless folks around there. You could have went, throwed on your shades, and tried and go over there to a couple of those parks. They everywhere. And you could have been like this, and you could have been scouting one of those homeless dudes, try to fix them up. You know, one that ain't doing all this and acting all crazy. And, it might be one sitting there. He probably was on hard times or whatever. You couldn't go and get him and fix him up, rather than risk your whole career and your kids' lifestyle and all that for a dusty inmate. Honey, you should have went and got a homeless one. You might have took you all day. You could have went on one of your off days and went down there and scoped you out one of them homeless dudes and see can you pick one up and freshen them up, clean them up, but don't spend a lot of money on them now. Don't spend a whole lot of money on them. You have to take them to the thrift shop. You take them to the thrift shop and get them some pants and some shirts and all that stuff. Because if you spend a lot of money on them and he dip, then you're going to be out a whole lot of money. So you take them to the thrift shop and all that and fix them up. You couldn't do that, LaPorsha. At least you and your kids would have still had the income. Y'all still would have had Reese's Pieces Puffs. Y'all still would have had Fruit Loops and all that. Now y'all on them sardine sandwiches and crackers. We got to do better. Anyway, LCL said, not the homeless dude. Hey, look here. I feel like this. If the women that's working in the jail department that desperate that they want to risk their whole career over an inmate, and it wasn't like he was your husband or something before he went in there. You just done ran into this inmate. So before you risk everything like that on an inmate, hey, it's the same thing. He homeless. He just in a jail cell. He homeless. He in a jail cell. So it's the same thing. Hell, if you gonna mess with that one, you might as well go to the park and find one that could be free, that can ride with you and walk with you and go to the park with you and all that. It's the same damn thing now, family. Both of them homeless. Both of them begging. Both of them begging for a little something. But at least this one out here at the park begging, and you give him $2-3, he can go get him a drink or a chicken, 2-piece chicken snack or whatever. This one, you give him $2-3, you get 5. And he homeless too. So yeah, if you had to, I'm just telling LaPorsha what she could have did if she had to pick between the two. It's all tight. She could have went to the homeless shelter. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. Now, family, that Shanquilla case, I want to talk about that as well. I'm going to talk more about it in the next video. But Dejanay's response that she wrote to the court, to the judge, and to the Robinson family was very disrespectful, evil. It was a very evil reply that, hey, look here, by the time y'all serve the right name instead of Dejanay Jackson, Imani Jackson, y'all statute of limitations was up. So good luck, toss this out, whatever. It was a very evil reply. But I want to show y'all in the next video that Dejanay really might have threw the Cabo 6 into quicksand, because it's something that the judge said in his statement when he was dismissing the lawsuit against the federal government and things like that. Okay. And it was something that it brought to my attention. Maybe he won't drop it to charge the lawsuit against, maybe he won't dismiss it against the Cabo 6. And by him taking a long time, you would say you're kind of worried that it's taking him this long to make a decision. But then me and my team talked and we said, well, yeah, it would take him a long time because he has 6 individuals to weigh. Okay. He's not grouping them all into one. You got 6 individuals to weigh because you got 5 individuals that put in a motion to dismiss. So you got to weigh each one of them separately of what you feel the responsibility, if any, they have regarding this case. So I could see it taking a little while now that you say he got to reply to 6 individuals. He just can't say to the Cabo 6. He'll say Elise Hyatt. You see what I'm saying? Khalil Cook. He had to put out the same type of reply that he put out for the FBI's when he dismissed theirs. Then he'll have to go to Winter Donovan. He'll have to put everything where he feel responsibility, if any, or whatever on that, and what decision he come on her behalf. Okay. So I could see it taking a little bit longer, which he said about 3 weeks ago, it would only take him a week. Well, it took him about that amount of time to come back and dismiss for the DOJs and the State Department. But in this case, with the Cabo 6, he still hadn't said anything yet. It gives a alarming feeling. And then again, you say, well, hopefully he won't dismiss. Okay. But I do want to show y'all in that next video about something that he said. And I'm hoping that he stick with that word. Because if he stick with that word, then that means the Cabo 6 most likely will not be dismissed from the civil lawsuit. See, we pay attention to words. And he said something in there that I'm hoping that he stick to with the Cabo 6. Mm-hmm. Yes, Dejanay. So most likely Dejanay have that reply that she sent to the judge just here last week. I think that made a big difference because she threw all of them most likely in that quicksand, for real. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I wanted to show y'all that Dejanay, you remember when Dejanay said, by the time it got to my house, or it was served to somebody else, it wasn't served to me. And by the time I got it and y'all used the right name, statute of limitations was up. Y'all remember when she said that, trying to be real smart and stanky and stuff like that? Well, we was looking, and then we saw this. That Dejanay was served electronically. Yes. See, Dejanay Jackson, a.k.a. Imani Green, was served electronically twice in December 2024 and then again in January 2025. Okay. Mm-hmm. Before responding through a mail type. So She was served electronically. Then what she wanted to try to do was stall out some more time and send them a reply by mail, not electronically. Well, that's where I think Dejanay put her foot in her mouth as well, because they served you electronically. So why are you saying by the time you got it, it was too late? I'll wait. They didn't never mail that to nobody's house. They didn't never mail it. They sent it electronically to Dejanay's email or whatever. And guess what? Evidently, she opened it. Evidently, she opened it. So it doesn't matter if she changed her name. She is still that person. She opened it. But she thought she can ignore it because it didn't have Imante Green on it. So see, when she had put in her reply that it was served to someone else, you would think that they went to somebody's house and she was probably served, but she was going to say, well, that's not me, so I really don't have to reply to it. No, they electronically gave it to her. So she's responsible. Mm-hmm. So she got it before Shanquilla and them statute of limitations or whatever, but that don't apply to her. That only applies to the family. But see, because she thinks she's so smart and she does such evil actions, she really did think that once she answers after the family's statute of limitation, she good. What? No. So that's one thing that I just wanted to share with y'all and show y'all that she got served electronically. So no, it's no way she's coming up at that one. And then I'm gonna show y'all in the next video a statement, because I really want to break it down and show y'all what I'm talking about. And then I want to play some things that's going to show how responsible they are for Shanquilla's demise. Okay. So yeah, so we're gonna talk more about that in the next video. Let me see what y'all are saying as well. Yeah, she was served. Oh, Bay Solo said she was laughing so hard she had to get water. Yes. LCL said at least the homeless guy is not behind bars. Exactly. Darlene Chestnut said the homeless isn't a criminal or he'd be in jail. Exactly. I'm trying to tell you. Yes. Darlene Chestnut said lets us know that they plan. Yeah, it does. It does. And you know, we had already said that the Cabo 6 planned that you know attack that they did on Shanquilla down there. We know they planned it, and you could tell the way they're moving right now, how they are planning to get around the court system from being held responsible. So you could tell that's all they do is plan and plot and stuff like that. Yeah, you could tell that. So let me go to the next one, but we will be talking more deep about Shanquilla because I really do want to show y'all something. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be interesting to y'all because I want y'all, you know, to pay attention to what I did about what the judge said. Because we went back over his statement, you know, that for him dropping or dismissing the lawsuit against the FBI and the State Department. Well, we looked at a lot of what he expects and what he want or what he wish he had and what all that type of stuff. And then we're going to break it down with the Cabo 6. Okay. And which is why we kind of do feel he might not dismiss that case. He just got 6 individuals to work on. Yeah. And give why he ruled this for this one, why he ruled this for that one, why he ruled this for that. He got to do that 6 times. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Diddy, as we know, and then I want to go ahead on. Oh, and when I said that girl nickname LaPorsha Williams should be LaPorsha Next, because hey, that's what her last name should be, Next, because she should have known when that dude said, give me a charger and throw it in the trash, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to do all that. She should have said, no. And my name, LaPorsha Next. LaPorsha Next, yeah, you know what that means? That if I do it, I'm going to be sitting next to you. No, I'm not doing it. My name is not LaPorsha Next. My name is LaPorsha Williams. That's what she should have said, but she did. But anyway, family, move on to Diddy. Diddy team and the prosecutors did their closing arguments. Right now, the closing argument for the defense, they finished. Closing arguments for the prosecution, they finished as well. Which is, I think this is going to be something to see how they rule on this. But the judge did ask Diddy, did he want to testify? Diddy said, nah, I don't want to testify on my own behalf. So he's not going to do it. And he said he wasn't. He told the judge that the judge is doing a great job and he appreciated it. Now he snuck that on in there, you know. But anyway, when they got to the prosecution defense, and the prosecution and Diddy's team got together, and the prosecution did drop some of the charges off of Diddy. Okay, just some. And the ones that they dropped off him was the prosecution. They have dropped 3 of its racketeering charges, and the kidnapping and the arson claim, no, is taken off the table. Okay, so now the prosecution said they still gonna move forward with racketeering bribery. Okay, the S traffic, street candy offenses, and the forced labor. So they said they're moving on with that right there. Okay, and Diddy's the prosecution on his side did say this right here. This was some of their closing arguments. I'm not going to say it all. We just going to do kind of rough little summary of it on both what the prosecution said in their closing and what the defense said in their closing. Now, the prosecution was first, okay? And what they did say is to the jury when they closed a closing statement is this was the work of Combs, who forced Cassie and Jane into days-long S-acts, said the prosecutor. Okay, so y'all remember they was just saying about how Diddy had them do 48 hours, 3-4 days straight FOs, and that he forced them to do that. And they were stuck in that hotel room and stuff like that. So that right there is a lot of the charges of forced labor, forced prostitution, or something like that, okay? Because you got to remind you that Cassie and Namia, they worked for Diddy. So Cassie was still an employee. So you got an employee doing these. It don't matter if you made that employee your girlfriend or not. By her title still having an employee, she was part of the company. And then she was doing these FOs as well. Okay? So it seemed force. That's what they're trying to say. Okay? And bribery. Like, if you don't do this, I'm going to release this tape. if you don't do that, you remember when Diddy company, somebody in the company told Cassie's mother to give them $25,000, give Bad Boys $25,000. The mother went out, got a loan on her house, sent it to Bad Boys, but then Bad Boys send the check back. That still don't matter. It was still done. That's considered in some cases extortion. Okay, it don't matter if you send it back. They still had to go get a loan to give that company, and then that company getting the money back. But the thing is, the money that you give the mother back is still not going to take care of that house loan, because house loans usually come with interest. So if she got $25,000 out of a loan or $20,000 out of a loan, she most likely if she got $20,000, she most likely got to pay $25,000 back. If she got $25,000 loan, she most likely got to pay $30,000 back. And then if the credit is not all that hot, most likely got to pay more than that in interest back. So it still put them people in the bind. Okay. So that's what they was talking about on that. That's what the prosecution was using in their closing arguments. And then they said Combs forced former assistant into S acts, talking about that Mia. And you remember when, it's just Mia testimonies smelled like skunk meat to me, though, because it was a lot of things in there. She said she went to bed and woke up and Combs was in her bed and she was in the closet fixing something, sitting on the walk-in closet. Next thing you know, Sasha's in her mouth. She was saying all this, but you would see where she was writing love letters, and I had a good time last night, referring to the time she was saying that was forced. But then you would see her write letters and emails and texts and stuff about how great it was. So anyway, the prosecution brought up Mia. And then they also said about HR department, that the HR department was basically a puppet for Diddy, meaning that people really couldn't go to an HR department because he is HR and KK is HR. So really, your problems wouldn't get solved or wouldn't be taken as seriously because, hey, it really wasn't an HR to go to. Okay. Then they also talked about, this is the prosecutors doing their closing. And then the prosecutor said Combs tried to tamper with witnesses and obstruction of justice after Cassie lawsuit. So you remember when Mia was saying that after Cassie lawsuit had dropped, that Diddy and his buddy D-Rock was trying to contact her to make her not say anything bad about Diddy. Well, at that time, she was already working with the feds, okay? And she wasn't finna change nothing she said anyway because she was already working with the feds. But that's what the prosecution is saying, is that when the lawsuit came out of Cassie, Diddy was trying to contact witnesses, trying to obstruct justice and make them not testify for the prosecution side. Okay. So they was bringing that up. And then they said that Combs and security pressured Mia when she said that they took her, made her do a lie detective test, and they kept her for about 4 days and made her do a lie detective test. And they told her if she lied, they were going to throw her in one of the New York rivers and all that stuff like that. So they brought that up as well to the jury. All this was their closing statements. Then the prosecutor says Combs coerced Jane Doe with rent, street candy, and threats to release a tape to her baby daddy. Allegedly, the baby daddy 50. Okay. But they were saying how he would use tapes and stuff like that to bribe them to do what he want them to do. And if he don't, then they don't get the rent paid, they don't get the bills paid, or they be threatened that I'm gonna send this to your baby daddy and all this stuff like that. So they was making a point to the jury about bribery, trying to bribe someone to force them into doing what he want them to do, which is illegal. Okay. About he used street candy to control Cassie and Jane Doe. So remember when sometimes they were saying that, they would tell him they don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing no FO. I just don't want to do it. And he'll say, open your mouth. Then he'll drop one of them pills in there in the mouth. And then they get all, ready to go. So they were saying stuff like that, using street candy to force someone into doing what you want them to do as well. Then they said about the prosecutors began going over the transportation for Petusians charges against Combs. So they started telling the jury about, you remember when he flew out this escort to this city, that state, this state, all across the United States, and well as overseas, to engage in activities, and they was being paid for it. Once they be paid for it, it's no longer considered escort. It's considered Petusian, which is traffic, because you got a lot of different people who are traveling across the United States and getting paid to have FOs. Okay, so they was telling the jury to make sure that they understand that part as well. That's in the Petusian charges that they got on Diddy. Because remember, they are keeping them Petusian charges on top of Diddy. They're keeping the traffic on top of Diddy. They're keeping the racketeering of bribery against Diddy, and that street candy against Diddy. Okay, but that awesome stuff about kids cutting car and kid nap whatever, that's thrown out. They not considering that no more. They did drop those charges off of him. Okay, but they are still holding on to the ones that I just told y'all they holding on to. And then they also made a point to tell the jury that Combe arranged and paid for male escorts to travel for hotel nights with Jane and Cassie. Okay, Jane Doe and Cassie. And so they just brought up all that stuff in their closing arguments. They also brought up KK. They said that Combs' ex-chief of staff knowingly arranged wild FO nights and wild king nights and cash for escorts. So, the prosecution is saying, he did have a conspiracy person with him, and that was his chief of staff, KK. But the thing is, they never called KK to the courtroom. But anyway, let me just go with what the prosecution was saying at the time. Okay, so that's what they were saying, that it was a ring because his chief of staff and him were arranging cash payments to all these escorts. They was arranging for these escorts to be traveled here and there and everywhere, okay, even overseas. And that Cassie and Jane was kind of inside of a forced labor type thing when it comes to dealing with those FOs. Because it was sometimes, you remember one time one of them say, well, it's that time of the month for a woman, so I'm not going to be able to do it. And he got mad, but it turned to find out she had to do it anyway. Okay, so they brought all that stuff up. Okay, and then the prosecution said Until today, the defendant was able to get away with these crimes because of his money, his power, his influence. That stops now. That stops today. It's time to hold him accountable. That's what the prosecution said. They said that he's not above the law, and the jury should hold him the same way accountable as they would anybody else. He's not God. He's not above the law. Even though he may think he's a God, but he's not. He's not above the law. And they said he needs to be convicted. Okay? They said count 3 and 5. The 2 counts of transportation to engage in P2. They told the jury, need to find him guilty on that, and intending for that person to engage in P2. All that stuff. They saying Diddy is guilty of all that, and he need to be held accountable. Okay? And that the KK and everybody else was in on arranging the things and all that, and the forced labor. They got evidence. They were saying, y'all seen the evidence of the forced labors where they couldn't sleep for days. They would have FOs for 24 hours, 48 hours, sometimes 3 days straight. That's forced. Okay? That's what they were saying. Okay? So that was his prosecution. And then you had Diddy team came up there. Diddy team said, okay, it's time for us. It's time for us to go ahead on and say our part. And so then, okay, let me stop right there before I go into the defense right quick, and then I take a couple of phone calls if y'all won't take it. Money holds him accountable. Yes. Darlene Chestnut says, feel like the prosecutors dropped the ball by not adding that KK woman. Yeah, I feel KK should have definitely been up there. I really do. Okay, Paul Cousin said he had to go. Okay, Paul Cousin, have a wonderful day. Spicy said KK needs to be in the cell, right? Yeah. A lot of us are saying the exact same thing, man. But that prosecution, the prosecution did. Let me see what that. Okay, but the prosecution did. The defense now they came up, and the defense argued against the racketeering conspiracy charges. Notes: no one was indicted with Combs. So that's what Combs' lawyer said. He said, look here, wasn't nobody indicted with Combs, so where's all this racketeering stuff coming from? Because, hey, look, y'all only got my client sitting here. Y'all ain't got nobody else sitting here but him. Where's all these racketeering people? So he was fighting against that, and the government suggested KK. But they never bought up. They never bought KK in. You see what I'm saying? So what Diddy team did was try to put it like KK was an innocent worker who didn't know that paying for P2 was wrong, and that she was only a good dedicated worker who was only trying to do things right. This is Diddy's team up here now doing their closing arguments. They put it like KK is just a wholesome chief executive right-hand woman to Diddy who never really intended to do anything wrong. She didn't even think what she was doing was wrong. She was just setting up dates for Diddy. She didn't think she did anything wrong. That's what the defense was saying. And the defense had to put it like that because if they was to say that she helped Diddy, that would make Diddy look guilty of something. So they couldn't do that. They had to put it like he didn't know, she didn't know. Because remind you, her name keep coming up just as much as Diddy's. So the defense had to put it like neither one of them knew that. What are y'all talking about? Conspiracy. She was just setting up dates for Diddy. She didn't know that, some of this stuff y'all are saying is criminal, and she definitely didn't know this was racketeering. Neither did my client Diddy. That's what they said in the closing arguments, basically. Then the defense said Cohn would reasonably assume his use of escort service was legal. And they said Combs really thought that using an escort service was legal because, hey, they the one in business. Why is he being punished for escorts services? Because he was actually calling, some of them worked with an escort service. So he was calling the escort service, and the escort service would tell him it's 2 hours for this person time, 4 hours for this person time. And the escorts, all of them knew that they are supposed to be escorts, but they also do S activities for you too. It's going to cost a little bit more, but they do S activities. So this escort service knows that they do this, and they should know the law that they're not supposed to do this. So when my client was calling them because he won't P-tuitions, they should have said, no, this is not this type of company. But instead they said, okay, this is how much it costs for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. Okay. So Diddy's defense team was saying it's the escort service responsibility to know that they wasn't supposed to do that. My client didn't know the ins and outs and rules to an escort service. They do. This was in the closing arguments. I'm just giving y'all like a brief summary, okay? And then the defense said, criticized the prosecution for getting only 2 male FOs participation in testifying. Well, y'all remember, only really 2 P-tuitions testified, and that was the Punisher, and then it was another one, the one who said that Cassie ran and jumped in his lap because Diddy was getting on her about something, and Cassie and that P-tuition dude became very kind of a bond within each other. But the Punisher, really, he had no bond. He just worked for him. You see what I'm saying? But the defense is saying, y'all only called 2 of them. So y'all only called 2 of them. And they agreed that that's what they do. But my client didn't know that it was against the law to do that. Okay? And then besides, y'all only called 2 of them. That was for Cassie. Those P-tuitions dealt with Cassie. What about Jane Doe P-tuitions that she was dealing with? She had about 8. She was jumping down, up and down on the FO bed with. So why y'all didn't bring in none of her P-tuition escorts? Okay. How come y'all didn't bring in? Y'all bought the 2 that was for Cassie, but y'all didn't bring nothing for Jane Doe. So therefore, it's basically saying they need to drop that too. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't bring enough to prove S traffic, is what the defense is trying to say. Okay? Y'all ain't really bring enough P-tuitions in. Y'all ain't brought but 2 in here. Where is the 9, the 10, the 20 P-tuitions? Y'all done called out all these P-tuitions' names, but only 2 showed up. Why is that? That's basically what they were saying. Let me see what y'all are saying before I finish. Spicy said protecting that woman. Yeah, that's exactly what it was given. Yes. LCL was talking about the pardon. They think of pardon for Diddy. I don't know. I can't see that. I that's just me. And I'm gonna tell y'all why I say that. Is because if you know Trump, okay, the president, and if you know his ways, Trump don't like people flipping on them, doing them wrong. And if you think about it, Diddy was, I guess, Trump's friend at one time or whatever, you know. They had a lot of business dealings that they did together, whatever. I'm talking about, like, you did see Trump at one of Diddy parties in the daytime, but of course, like they say, everybody wasn't involved in those FOs. And as you see in this trial, that's most likely true, because it's only like him, Diddy, his girl, and then they call in P-Tutions. And I guess Diddy kept it like that because he didn't want to get caught. So he kept it in a closed circle. But my thing is, he used to talk up for Trump. Even the last time Trump had got elected, you would see Diddy kind of talked up for Trump. Then all of a sudden, Diddy started turning towards his DMs and he started talking a little bit against Trump. Well, if you know anything about Trump and Trump history and looking at Trump ways and how he move or whatever like that, he don't like to be poked in the back. Okay? Nah. So if Diddy did get a pardon, Diddy would have to do some getting on them knees and just saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because one thing Trump do not like is for somebody to go against him. All you got to do is ask some of these AGs and mayors that he going after now that was dogging him before he became president again. He'll come at you. He'll come at you. You was trying to mess with me. You did this to me. You was trying to put me up under the jail. You did. Yeah, I'm coming at you. So Diddy did at one time flip from Trump, and he went over to the Dem side and he started running his mouth and kind of talking against Trump. If you know the history of Trump, he don't like for nobody to do him like that. So in my opinion, because I'm a New Yorker, Trump is a New Yorker, and it's a lot of people that's out here that's not New Yorkers, that if you think that you was cool with somebody and then that person started saying some sly, slick stuff and stuff like that, and you feel like they're no longer on your side, then that person asks for a favor, you're going to be like, oh, no, dog. And before I do any more favors for you, we're going to have a sit down and some straightening, and it's going to have to be a whole lot of straightening. So myself, I just don't see that. I don't see Trump doing a part, not no time soon. I really don't. And I know some of Diddy lawyers probably know Trump or close to Trump or whatever, and I'm quite sure Trump would tell them too. Hey, look here. He said this about me, that about me, this about me, and all that right there. What he gonna do? Is he gonna apologize? How he gonna apologize? How we gonna get some straightening up out that? Is he gonna do a public apology or what? See, Trump is petty. Anyway, back to the defense. The defense attorney. Okay, we talked about. He said, y'all ain't about but two P-Tutions up in here. Combs' accuser agreed to nights with him at the time. So his defense was saying, hey, look here, Cassie and Jane, they agreed to a lot of these FOs, okay? They was even writing text messages talking about how much fun they had, how much they enjoyed it and all that. And besides, not only did they enjoy the FOs with my client, Mr. Combs, and they, it was just, they are swingers. That's what they are. They are swingers. And this is what swingers do, okay? And not only did they enjoy the swingers FO thing, they was also calling some of these P-Tutions behind my client's back and getting with them and having their own FOs, okay? And if you remember, Jane Doe got with another well-known icon rapper with him and his chick. And Jane Doe she was at an FO party with them, throwing up her shirt and all that stuff like that. So when y'all say force, what are you saying force? Y'all are saying that, okay, he forced them to do FOs. Not in this FO, but in this FO. So Diddy defense said, okay, so which one is the difference? Are you saying that my client didn't force them in the FOs 1 through 10? but then he forced them in the ones 11 through 15. That don't make no sense. They all FOs. That's how his defense was putting it. And then the defense said, and besides, Cassie, y'all talking about Diddy talking to this girl, and all that stuff. Cassie was talking to Kid Cudi behind my client's back. Okay? So she was doing things with Kid Cudi behind my client's back. My client didn't know nothing about no Kid Cudi until it came out. And no, my client didn't have nothing to do with no arson, no car being set on fire, none of that. Now, he did go over there and ready to throw some regular hands. Now, he wanted to throw hands with Kid Cudi, but not no arson and firing up his car and all that stuff like that. No, not my client. Okay? So that's basically the way he put it. And he put it that y'all talking about Diddy is the gangster. Cassie is really the gangster because she is the one that was talking to Kid Cudi, a whole another big rapper behind this rapper here back, my client. And then on top of that, my client hired her a massage therapist and all that, who is her husband now. But at that time, she was messing around with that man too. My client didn't know it. So she was basically FOing all over the place, and so was Jane Doe. Basically. That's what they were saying. Okay. Then Diddy's team said that the FO tape showed intimacy. It showed a lot of intimate things, you know. It didn't really show that nobody was being forced in those videos. Everything seemed consensual. Intimacy was going on, and you got to remind you, I know Jane Doe, she kind of has the hots for a couple of those P2s, so that's why you've probably seen the energy of feeling good and consent with that one, because she really was talking to one of them. You see what I'm saying? Because she was meeting him too on the side after the FOs. Okay. So Diddy team was saying a lot of those videos y'all show most of all of the videos y'all show. All we seen was intimacy. We didn't see nothing where nobody was forced or being grabbed by their head to do it or none of that. Okay. Then the defense says he pushed back on Cassie's career was hindered because she was steady having FOs with Diddy. And then the defense was saying she did videos. She was in videos, people music videos during the time she was with Combs. She also had some modeling gigs the time she was with Combs. So she was still working. He never hindered or stopped her just for her to focus on FOs. No. Then the defense said him being a street candy supplier, okay, the racketeering. Like, my client only had enough to use. He never had a whole bunch where it's enough to distribute out, okay? Now, he may gave some people like some of his portion, but he wasn't like, okay, I'm selling this to that person. I'm selling a big pound to this person. I said everything he had on him was for his own personal use. So he wasn't no big time, sugar candy supplier. It was that drug mule that did all that. Okay. So he said basically everybody just wanted money from Combs. And he said that if you look at it, all these different lawsuits here, lawsuit there, everybody coming up on lawsuits. Diddy got 36 lawsuits pending on him right now, okay? And that a lot of this stuff is just money grab. He said, didn't nobody sue, didn't nobody go to no polices, didn't nobody go to no detectives, didn't nobody go to the FBI, didn't nobody do none of that because they were being treated so bad. He said they just automatically just started off with lawsuits, money grab. That's all this whole case is about, money. This is what the defense, I'm just telling y'all what the defense saying, okay? This they closing arguments. Okay. Cooking with Frank. Salute, salute. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much for your generosity. It's so greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for just stopping in and joining us today. Thank you. Thank you. So that was the defense closing arguments, okay? Then the defense said they pushed back on the allegations of Cassie saying Diddy R-word her in that room. They said R-word her. If y'all remember, we showed y'all evidence that she was with Diddy in that hotel room willingly, and they was having a little time together. Now, there wasn't no escorts in there that time. It was just her and Diddy. Okay. And they had a little intimate moment that night, and her phone rang, and it was her future husband that she's married to now, Alex. Okay. So not only was she messing with my client, Diddy, she was also messing with Alex, the masseuse that my client hired for her. Okay. And so she went behind my client back and got real cozy with this one, and then she started talking to this one, and this one here, Alex, think that they real tight and cool. But what Cassie didn't tell nobody and Alex is that she was still messing with my client. So she was over to my client's house getting down with the get down, and Alex called on FaceTime, and she ignored it because she didn't want Alex to see where she was. Well, when Alex had kind of pinged and knew where she was and made her tell the truth where she was, she told her husband, boyfriend or fiance at the time, Alex, that she was over Diddy's house, but he R'd me. So she used the R word to get out of the fact to tell this man the real truth that, yes, I just went over there and then we did or whatever, whatever. So that's what Diddy's defense team said. We showed y'all proof that the man did call her and she ignored it because she was at the time in a tangled up position with Diddy. Okay, so y'all can throw that R word charge right out. I'm just telling y'all what the defense. I'm just summarizing what the closing arguments was. Okay. Then Diddy team said something was off with the street candy that Diddy took before he was windmilling on Cassie. Diddy team tried this, but anyway, they tried it. They said that when we saw Diddy windmilling on Cassie, is that it was something wrong with them drugs. They said it was something wrong with the drugs. They said that he got a hold to a bad batch, and that bad batch made him act with the windmill and act delusional. They tried it, don't work. But I mean, not for me, but I'm just saying, they tried it. But that's what they said. Diddy got a hold to a bad batch. Okay, and that's why he started acting crazy and windmilling on Cassie in that hotel. And you know, they tried it. Then they said, the defense said they talking about bribery when Diddy gave the hotel $100,000. They calling that bribery. He said that ain't no bribery. Bribery, if you look at the meaning of bribery, bribery means when somebody is getting ready to report you to the authorities and you don't want them to report you to the authorities, so you pay them to keep them from reporting this to the authorities. That's really the meaning of bribery. So y'all go look at the meaning of bribery. It is usually meant for if somebody say, I'm finna go tell the police, or I'm finna go tell the feds, or I'm finna go tell this, and you'll say, now what I need to give you so you don't tell them, because that person don't want to go to jail or whatever. So Diddy team is saying, in this case, that is not bribery. What Diddy did was bought the tape from the people to save his image. Not because he was afraid that he was going to go to jail or anything like that. He said the security guard and all them, didn't nobody ever say nothing about turning that tape in to any type of authorities. Said Diddy just wanted it just to save his reputation, his image. So that's why he bought it. And that's not bribery. You just buying it just to say bribery is only if the security guards had to say, hey, I'm finna turn all this stuff over to the 5-0. And then Diddy said, I give you 100,000 not to turn it over to 5-0. That would have been bribery. But didn't nobody ever say they was going to turn it in? And Diddy just say, hey, I just want to buy that tape to save my image. That's the way they put it. That's the way they put it. Yeah. So basically, Diddy team said that Capricorn clock, she done got up there talking about Diddy had her taking a lie detector test because his jewelry came up missing. Said they had took her into an empty building and all that stuff and had her hooked up the lie detector test. And she said they had her in there about 4 or 5 days. Well, Diddy team said she went home every night. So how's you kidnapped and you went home every night? Okay. Said and Diddy lawyer said, I ain't never seen nobody kidnapped and they still go home every night. So basically that was it, family. That was it. So he said it's not about the crime, it's all about money. That's all these people looking for. Money, money, money. And that the prosecution really didn't present a strong case to prevent, to show a whole lot of this racketeering and all that stuff. And so they feel it should be thrown out. Okay. The judge said that he thinks it's best to give the juror their instructions Monday. So Monday is just going to be the judge talking to the jury, giving them their instructions on how to, what they, like if you say bribery, if y'all have problems with bribery, refer back to section such and such, code such and such, and read bribery so that y'all will be able to rule on that, in the best way possible. And then when it comes to the S trafficking, if y'all getting stuck on that or having problems or whatever, refer to code such and such and such and such to get the true meaning of the S traffic. Okay. The P-tuitions, go to code such and such. So that's what the judge is going to do Monday. Break down all to the jury their instructions, their do's and they don'ts, and what they can refer back to if they get stuck. And if they don't get the answers from what they're looking at, they can call on the judge, and then the judge can kind of explain it without trying to give them a decision. You see what I'm saying? So he said he's going to break all the instructions down for them Monday. And then after he break all the instructions down for them Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday on, they make their decision. They'll be on their own after Monday. And everybody will just be waiting on a verdict. Now, what do y'all think the verdict going to be? Do you think they're going to come back Tuesday? When? Do you think it's going to take them a couple of hours to come to a decision? Or do you think it's going to take them about a day to come to this decision? Or do you think it's going to probably take about 2 to 3 days before they come to a decision? Or do you think that decision is going to be real quick and they're going to come back real quick? Don't know. We'll see. But I do have the lines open if anybody want to call in, and my line is 678. It's no 1-800, none of that. We based out of Atlanta, so Atlanta area code is 678. Okay, so the number is 678-439-4517. Okay, that's if y'all if that's if somebody wants to call in and say anything about either one of the cases that we talked about today, any one of the things. I just want to thank everybody for who donated today. Thank y'all so much. It's so greatly appreciated. So greatly appreciated. So greatly appreciated. Cooking with Frank, thank you so much for your generosity. And Kevin Clausen, thank you so much for your generosity. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. Um, Bay Solo said they're gonna take a day or two. She think they're gonna take a day or two. Okay, okay, yeah. Um, I don't. You know, it's gonna be tough. That decision gonna be tough, and I think both of them did a great job. I think the prosecution did a good job. I just think that they didn't bring enough. Oh, because we kept hearing so many names, but we just never saw the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, where the people at? Where the people at? You keep saying KK, 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 KK. And then it was another one they kept bringing up, but they never bought inside of the courtroom to testify. And I was like, man, a lot of y'all calling the Gina girl. She's supposed to have been, you know, one of the top witnesses along with Cassie and Jane Doe. She disappeared. She didn't show up. And then they tell me they don't know where she at, and then a lawyer ain't answering the phone and all that stuff like that. Then they had another one, a victim 5 or something like that. That person never came up, you know. So, and then some of the ones that did come up stunk up the joint. Yeah, stunk up the joint. Come to find out they was having FOs without Diddy. What? Stop it. You know, so I don't know. But now I'm telling you, Diddy always smelled like skunk meat. For point blank, period. And like I said, I'm in the same age bracket as Diddy. Diddy always smelled like skunk meat way back in the late 80s. Okay? But now here it is 2025, and a lot of stuff that we was hearing then is coming up. But you know, sometimes I guess it's the way some of the witnesses say it too, can kind of a little bit drop the ball on a lot of things. But I think that KK should have been bought in that courtroom. I don't know what I don't. Wow, wow, yeah. But anyway, I enjoyed everybody. And we covered a lot of topics. I think we going into what, about an hour and a half on here. Yes. And thank y'all so much for all of y'all awesome support. It is so greatly appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I call the number out one more time, 678-439-4517. If y'all would like to call in for a brief minute. But, you know, just like I said, it definitely I'm gonna come back and we'll talk about it. I think after Monday that judge give those jurors their instructions and he gonna let them go back in there and deliberate. I'm saying a day, could be longer. I don't think it's gonna be like no couple of hours. I don't think it's gonna be like no 4 hours. I don't think it was, I don't know, family. I don't know. But you know it's big news. Everybody's sitting on pins and needles to see guilty or not guilty. But I do think that this is what I do think. I think that all charges ain't gonna be guilty. You see what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's gonna be like guilty on bribery. And I think that's because of Cassie's mom. The way she had to take that money out of her bank account like that and send it or get a loan and then send it to the bad boys enterprise. That P-tuition, I'm sorry if you didn't know or not. The point is, it's against the law. An escort is not supposed to have S activities and get paid for it. it's still against the law, no matter if he didn't know or he was confused by it. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, if that's the case, I'm guilty of that. Well, then hell yeah, you're guilty. Keep your goddamn mouth closed, okay? Before they come after your ass. If you did it, it's against the law. Now you know. People kill me with that. Just shut up. You see the law, what the law say? The law say what it say. Okay? So I think Daddy will get it on the bribery from the mom and then the petition from the escorts. I do think those two would be guilty. I don't know about the rest. And it's like 5 more counts or 4 more counts. So I'm thinking they'll say not guilty on this charge, guilty on this charge. Not guilty on this charge, not guilty on this charge, guilty on this charge. And I'm thinking that he'll probably wind up being guilty on about 3 of the 6. That's just my opinion. And you still get time for those 3. What is the time for the ones they're going to say guilty for? I don't know. Is they going to say Diddy going to be like Young Thug where he have a 30-year probation? Don't know. Or is he going to have to do about 5 and then about 15, 20 probation? Don't know. But we'll see. We'll talk about it. Darlene Chestnut, thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you. Thank you so much for your generous donation. It's so greatly appreciated. Well, that's all I got for today, family. Just thank y'all. I did this on the fly right quick and had the live, but thank you all so much. Appreciate it. Love y'all. Sending hugs, loves, and kisses to you all. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend. And have a great 4th. But I'm going to come back on a video before the 4th because, we got to talk about the verdict. But y'all just have a great weekend, okay? Have a safe and beautiful and wonderful weekend. Sending loves and hugs. Bye-bye.